on top,
yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome back into Pregaming here on Sports Money. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. You already know the deal. Best in the business come here to share their best bets and help us build our bankrolls as we build this community here of winning gamblers. Appreciate you guys coming in here. TGIF, man. TGIF. As a matter of fact, shut that up. Get this thing rolling. We're going to heat this place up. We don't need any extra help. We don't need any extra help from that space heater. It's heating up. It's Friday. Ready, set, go. Hopefully you guys had a great week. I not so much. Need to bounce back. Need to rebound and recover, but we don't hide from it. Not going to win them all. I'm going to sit here and try to recoup, reevaluate, and reset as we attack these bookies today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the live stream yesterday. How about that? On Kick, we had, what, 3 games going? 3 games going live on screen at the same time. And your boy, I was on the island. I was on the island of Pimp Slap. It's plenty good. It's plenty good. Houston +5. It's probably one of the rare spots that went well yesterday. But look, got them trends. Got to get them right. Got to get them right. Keith, you know what I'm talking about. Let's go. It's going to be a lot of fun today, though. We got a show and a half in front of us here. We got 3 NHL spots on the 4-game card. Got the fade in effect. Got the fade plays in effect. We got 2 college basketball games that we'll take a shot at. And 4 NBA games. Loaded slate tonight. Man, the world's collided here with the Bulls and the Raptors. 2 of the starting 3. 2 of the starting 3 involved in this game here. I had to get involved with a little same-game parlay action there, but nothing I loved. I think the Bulls come on top of that game. It's a strange number. I think you got to go the under in the rebounds with Vucevic. I think you got to look at the over 1.5 threes for Vuce. And you got to look at a double-double for Scotty. There are boosts available. That may pay out somewhere in the vicinity of 40-1. I'm just saying. But nothing I was overly passionate about with that game. A couple games I'm excited to talk about here. Some really unusual buying taking place here today. And actually, I'm sorry, that was 20-1. Some unusual buying taking place in Vegas today. In the books, the bookmakers, somebody might know something. So we'll talk about that as well. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here. I'm riding out this Yale and over spot, trying to parlay that puppy together for a +246. So far, Yale's looking pretty good. Up 14 points. We'll talk some Ivy League action. And what else do we have? I think that'll do it for the day. Got to do some prep. Got to get ready for the big UFC stream tomorrow morning. We pop off early. Get some breakfast. Go get yourselves a McMuffin or something. Get a breakfast sandwich in you and get ready to go. Get some coffee. Fire it up. Get some Bloody Marys. We got early action tomorrow. You're not going to want to miss out on that there. We got to prep tonight. Got to get ready. No time to wake up and do it. Got to cover the full cop. Man, it's going to be a busy night. But it's okay. It's okay. We'll have fun watching these games along as we get there. And I was just kind of daydreaming here as I was getting ready for the show. And I'm looking at the screen. I'm like, it seems like I'm 1 slide short. And then I realized I loaded yesterday's graphics and I had to go back and load today's. So it's all good. It's all good in the hood. You guys know the deal. Need your help with that thumbs up button. If you would kindly take a second to close the comments, the chat down, you'll see that little thumbs up like this. You give it a smack. Then you pop the comments back open and we'll go to work. going to move quickly. Got a lot of stuff to do tonight. Oh, let me see what we got here. Oh, boy. Philadelphia news. Always Philly popping off in the news here. Lots of players out in the Sixers game today. Big news that we cracked last night. We talked about that Flyers trade. I like the Flyers making moves. I'm a big fan of movement for movement's sake. Just do something. You can't just sit around doing nothing. Unlike Buffalo. Buffalo believes that it's very okay to sit around and do nothing. I don't agree with that. I don't think if you're losing, you go into the players and you tell them the answer's here in this room because they're losing. So it's clearly not in that room. And if you want to be cheap and you don't want to go out there and get new talent, then I guess, but you still got to spend a certain amount of money. So, as far as this trade's concerned, one of the players was going to be on he was on waivers 3 months ago. They could have gotten him for nothing 3 months ago. The other guy's in a scoring slump. He's got 3 goals this year, something like that. So I like Farabee. I was a fan of Farabee. I was good with him for the Flyers, but hey, you know what? Make a move. Let's make a move for the sake of making a move. I'm good with that. Let's get some change up there. Let's change it up a little bit. Let Tortorella beat on somebody else verbally and quite possibly physically for the rest of the season and give Mishkov a little bit of a break so that so Torts can start yelling at somebody else. But we'll see how that pans out. Flyers did what we expected them to do last night, and that was take the L. Back-to-back L's on top of that now. But nonetheless, we're still about a week away from the Super Bowl. That'll be a big Philly spot. I don't know about Philly tonight, though. We'll take a look. We'll take a look at that game for sure. And that's a game that does have the unusual betting behavior. I'm not sure. Somebody knows something is what I know. So let's go. You guys know the deal. Get that pen and paper out. Time to write down these plays, these angles, these trends. The best in the business here, our friends, have gathered to share their best bets so that we can build these bankrolls. And it's time to get to work. Make sure you do put your best bets in the chat, and we'll pop off with Jover. J.O. likes the Canucks and Stars first period, and he's going over 1.5 in that first period. Ballsy. Luck to you, Jover. J.O., we'll talk about that game. I had a unique scenario in that game. There's a bunch of uniqueness on the card tonight, now that I think about it. But that one there, that game there, Jover. Weird. It's weird. We're going to talk about it. I'll tell you guys exactly what makes it weird. Gerald Jones is rocking, though. He's got a best bet in that Brown Penn game. And he's got his record for us this week, too. 3-1. Appreciate the record keeping, Gerald Jones. Good on you, my dude. Joe Dubs in the house. There's Keith. There's Keith. So he likes the Hornets to cover plus 13 tonight. Charlotte. Healed back. Held back from betting Yale, he says. I was thinking Buddy Hield for a minute. Hield's back for Yale? Yeah, it's a tough game. It's a tricky little spot. I was back and forth between Yale and Princeton. Which side did I want to get involved with there? And I saw the nice little 7-0 trend for Yale, so I ultimately jumped in there. We'll see what happens with that game. It's not much, just a little something. 5 o'clock action while I'm finishing up the card, You guys know how that works. Daddy Beats is in the house. Oldie is here. Jay Peasy's up in this piece. Let's go, Jay Peasy. Rick J likes Voos. Rebounds over 11.5. Opposite of me. Rick J. Probably also, he's betting Kansas City Chiefs would be my guess. Coin says, yo, Mikey likes the Clips minus 12.5. Buffalo over 6.5. And St. Peter's money line for our guy, Coin. Appreciate you, Coin. There's Robert McCormick. He's in the house. There it is, Keith. Oh, man. Keith, you got to go back and look at that. That trend is 5-0 in favor of Houston this year. 5-0. It's a good one, though. I saw the reason I was calling you on it because I saw that same number and I thought, I looked at it. It shows they're 5-0 this year. It's entirely different when you see they're 5-0 this year than 15-28 overall. A little different. Peter Grassi said that was fun, though. That was fun. That was a fun live stream, man. It was cool. The four of us hanging out, rocking, and flipping back and forth to the bar in the game. Let's go. Peter Grassi is here. He's ready to roll. He's just fucking praying every day Philly wins the Super Bowl. They will. They will. They certainly will this year. Irish King says Butler or Georgetown. I'd have to go Georgetown. I didn't play that game. There's Nicholas Handy. Irish King likes Purdue in the first half. Make America great again, says Columbus. 0-7 on the second night of a back-to-back. Isn't that crazy? I'll tell you. AOD's rocking with us here. Wants to do some damage to these bookies. I'll tell you. If I wasn't so dug in on the new fade, I hate fading. I hate it. But I stumbled on a fade. This dude works way too hard to be so bad. But it has to be Utah's team total under. I'll sneak peek that game for you guys. Now, if it's Utah's team total under, does Columbus break that trend? We'll see. Keith. You know, messing with me. All good. All right. All good. Kelly V says they're 0-12 in that spot. Who's 0-12? Columbus? Sabres? That's the art and the science. That's where the art takes over. I can't see Utah winning that game. Maybe they do. Probably they do. I just can't see it. Eesh. Yeah, Columbus. Okay. I mean, after the 10s, we start looking the other way. When we get to the 10s, we got 12s now? Let's go to this Canucks and Dallas game. Now, listen, if you guys want some insight from me on this Buffalo game, I would have to take the Nashville team total under. I would have to take the Sabres and probably the game to go under. No official place. What is worth noting is it is the Rob Ray Hall of Fame induction night for Buffalo. So if you don't know, Rob Ray was average at best. But you know what he did better than almost anybody in the NHL? He fought. He was the fourth line bruiser. You threw him in there. You knew when he went on the ice, he was fighting somebody. That was literally, you guys ever see the movie Goon? Basically the story of Rob Ray's life. And so that's a big deal because he's coming into Buffalo tonight for the retirement or the Hall of Fame induction. Place should be rocking. Not only are they bringing Rob Ray back for the Hall of Fame induction night, they have also decided to bring back probably one of the best to sing the national anthem. He's going to be back there as well. And if you want to check it, I mean, that dude gets energy when he sings that national anthem. He gets the crowd popping. So it's going to be loud. It's going to be noisy. And Buffalo's a strong first period team. They shit the bed in the second and the third period, but they're one of the best in the first. They just don't have enough depth. But goaltending-wise, Justus Annunen will be going for Nashville, most likely. And UPL, still unconfirmed. A little weird that it's unconfirmed, but I don't know. No play for me officially on that game. Zion Williamson is officially out today with the illness. Fuck. But Vancouver and Dallas got ourselves a battle. 2 playoff teams. Remember that. It's important. And we got the 2 of the best goalies in the league. Now, Thatcher Demko's coming back from injury. We've talked about it. His numbers aren't great. But he's only played 12 games. So in comparison, Jake Ottinger's played 36 games, 24-11-1. 24-11-1 for Jake Ottinger. Thatcher Demko, 4-5-3. 3.27 goals against average, 2.34 goals against average for Jake Ottinger. I mean, look, no question. Dallas has got the, if you look statistically on the season, the better goaltender going on here. But there's some externalities that have to factor into this cap. First and foremost, you got the Canucks coming in here with a 3-game heater. And they're trying to get their guy back in shape. And he's been playing phenomenal. 96.9% saving against the Nashville Predators. Now, if you'll recall, a month ago, I talked about putting a future bet in on the Predators to win the Stanley Cup. Now everyone's starting to come around. But he did shut him down 3-1, 31 of 32 saves out there. And now we look at the other side of things. What do we got for Dallas? Well, we got Ottinger. We got the Stars on a 3-game win streak. Something right with this Dallas Stars team. And you're starting to hear about it now. They're looking to openly talk about trading players because they just don't get along. Miro Heiskanen also will be out indefinitely with a knee injury. So they're loss of talent. They have no culture. They have no chemistry. All signs to say you don't want to be involved with this Dallas Stars team, in my opinion. Ottinger, kind of on a downward trend here. 88.2% save percentage his last 3 games. So yeah, they're on a 3-game win streak, but Thatcher Demko's got the buy arrow. Jake Ottinger's got the sell arrow. And here's the little spot that I found kind of ridiculous. First of all, the Canucks are beating the shit out of people. In their last 3 games, they've outscored teams 10-4. So now you got a buy sign on your goalie. You got a team that's finding the scores, and you got a goaltender on the other side that's got the sell sign. A little weirdy. If you are averaging more penalties and a better power play unit, if your special teams essentially is more effective than the other team, and you're the home favorite, you win those games. That makes sense. Your special teams is more effective. You get fewer penalty minutes. And when you do get power plays, you score. And you're the home favorite. You're 50-15 in this particular situation with Vancouver and Dallas. But for some reason, the Vancouver Canucks are 4-0 in this trend. And it only happens like this month of the year over the last couple of years. Weird. Very, very strange that you would have better special teams, better effective all around. But now you start to break it down, and we got a team that's got cultural issues, no chemistry, goaltender on the sell, the other team scoring a shitload of goals. Absolutely, you got to go in there and take these Vancouver Canucks, and you're getting a great price tag for it. I'm in favor of the under for this game, but I'm going to take Vancouver at plus 140. It's weird. It's a weird situation. And it's kind of like all the moon, stars, and planets are aligning for this thing because you got the aforementioned circumstances with Dallas. And you got the scoring happening right now for Vancouver on the goaltender who's potentially a Vezina Trophy finalist, not at his best form. This is a great fit for Vancouver here tonight. I think this is an absolute knockdown dragout. The under is a factor. The under in those spots definitely is a factor for the overall game. But I'm just on Vancouver. This line's come down a ton, too, by the way, if you do care about the line movement when it comes to the NHL. This game opened up. Stars were a minus 190 favorite. They're down to like minus 155. 155. Weird. I think everyone's probably feeling the same way. Something not right in Dallas. Let's take advantage of it tonight. Let's exploit it with this plus 140 price tag. There's even better numbers out there, but best number I could get my paws on was a plus 140. So go ahead, get that money. That's an 8 p.m. start. And let's roll on. Let's get this next game in the books for us here. We'll go on over to Colorado. A little elevation. Another interesting spot. 220 is the Colorado money line. This thing's dropped 50 cents. Everyone's buying on Colorado. 91% of the bets and 90% of the cash. This line has come way down. And I think they're playing some goalie fuckery here in St. Louis. It's Mackenzie Blackwood that is confirmed starter for the Colorado Avalanche. This should have been Binnington. But Binnington shit the bed the other day, and Hofer had to go back in there and relieve his ass. It was a 5-2 loss to the aforementioned Vancouver Canucks. What did he do in that spot where he went in there and made the saves? Well, he was 10 of 11. Now, it was that Flyers game, wasn't it, last night that we were talking about? Fedotov, kind of the same situation. His headspace. Where was his headspace? He had to go in there and relieve Ersson the game prior in that busted up blowout revenge spot for the New Jersey Devils. That's why I said it's always concerning. What's that headspace look like with these guys? And Hoffer having to come in there and replace Binnington, certainly not something that you want to see when it comes down to the average rotation. Now, I was expecting that they would throw Binnington right back in there. Hey, you had a bad spot. You're our starting guy. Let's go back to it. Hofer, though, not too terrible. 9-5-1. He's got 2.92 goals against average and a 90.4% save percentage. Yeah, we'd like to see the GAA at around 2.5, but probably a rung above serviceable, I would say. On the flip side of things, Blackwood, we've talked about this guy a lot, right? Second lease on life after having to, after parting ways with that San Jose Sharks organization, who last night completely fucked me. Won't forget that. Forget that sting. Probably foolish in that position, but Jesus, $2 to $1 on this Seattle Kraken? Really? I don't know. On the other side of things here, though, Hofer, not a bad season this dude's got. And I think he's more than serviceable here, given the fact that Binnington did shit the bed. And I don't like the headspace factor. I already mentioned that. But Colorado, they're not playing their best hockey right now. They're kind of in that mid-season slump. They're 1-3-1. Blackwood, 3 or more goals in 5 straight games. He's got a little bit of that San Jose-itis coming into the situation here. Now, St. Louis team, not scoring goals either. So this is a strong look to me for the under in this spot here. They've been outscored 11-4 in their last 3 games, and that's how you lose. Sometimes you do have to get out of Dodge. Sometimes you do got to head for the hills, try to get some shit moving in the right direction, and see if you can't get on the road and build some of that chemistry that we're talking about as they try to make a push for the playoffs. However, both these teams are in almost identically stinky situations. 4-6 in their last 10. St. Louis is 12-14 on the road. Avalanche are 14-12 at home. Last year, this is the first time these teams met. This is why I referenced last year. Last year, Colorado slapped them around. 3-1 overall in a 4-game series. 2-game roadie for St. Louis, so it's not the little weird scheduling spot where they got to bounce back home and then bounce on the road. But they do have Utah next. So they'll have back-to-back games at elevation. Where I'm going with that is we talked about this trend now because we have 2 teams in the NHL that have the elevation effect. The second game's a bust-out drag-out. They're just losing. We talked about that one the other day. It's very much still the case. And I think they got to put their best foot forward to win this game. Overall, we've got some spots that say fade Colorado here. A 6-12er to fade Colorado straight up. A 3-15 on the money line, on the puck line. And a 5-10-3 spot to the under. A couple of numbers to consider as we look at this thing, but I just went right back at it again. Not going to overcomplicate it here. Give me the 158. St. Louis Blues. I'm going to go dog to pop this card off in the NHL. I will say this. Nixis? Is that how you say his name? Nixis? Martin? Probably a good spot for this dude to score a goal tonight. Probably a good spot for this dude to score the first goal tonight. Why? Well, he was part of that Carolina trade. The Rantanen side of things, well, Rantanen got on the scoreboard yesterday in Carolina. First goal, I think, for the squad there. What have they done with good old Marty? Well, they put him on the first line. They put him on the first power play line. He's the first on everything. He's been productive, and now this will be his first game home in his new home of Colorado. Probably a good spot to see this dude go out there and punk everybody. And his first goal scorer is 1,400. His anytime goal scorer has caught some steam. He was plus 225. He's down to 180. Plus 180s for Neexus to score a goal. So there's a little extra something for you guys to consider in that game. But I like the St. Louis spot. I'm going to jump in on this. I'm going to fade away on the Avalanche. I think this is just a unique little situation where we got these teams kind of coming in, both struggling circumstances here. There's not enough that warrants me going out there, especially seeing the sell sign on Blackwood, to lay that number for Colorado. We'll go dog. And we'll go to this last game in the NHL. So Columbus just had their big dub. They just shut down Vegas. Everyone was jacked up, jacked off. And Columbus is a big dog. They opened up at 142. They've moved to 186. What's going on here? My goalie site always gives problems. Always frozen up. Anyhow, you guys talked about this Columbus team on the second leg of a back-to-back. It's terrible. There's no good around it. You know, you look at these two spots here. You should fade these guys. You should fade Columbus. However, Utah's not playing great at home. They're a better road team. We talked about this. They started off the season, the good boy treatment. You're a good boy. We like you. We want you around. Then everyone realized, well, they still are really the Arizona Coyotes. Now it looks like what are they going to be, the Mammoth? The Utah Mammoth? Is that the deal? Is that what we got? I saw some mock-up jerseys. I don't know why they got to be the light powder blues, but anyhow, 8-16 at home. Jackets are 8-18 on the road. As a road dog, the Jackets are 7-17. And again, they're just coming off that big win. But conversely, Utah in the favorite role at home are 5-8. This is an ugly game. Goaltending-wise, it looks like it's Vejmelka versus Tarasov. My goaltending dashboard just nuked out on me here. Hang on. Just trying to bring this back up. The site's got so many fucking cookies and junk in it. But look, Utah's not shooting the puck. This is what we talked about before. Their lack of puck production is leading to lack of goal scoring. And if it wasn't for the fact that I already believed in this game being a lower scoring spot, we've been taking some unders for Utah at home. The fact that I found our fade team total under for Utah. Got to hammer that down. Under 3.5 at minus 110. You're going to go score on Tarasov. See, the thing about these goaltenders, they might be backups. But backups can still perform. They can still have a game. And neither one of these two teams really goes out there and runs and guns. If Columbus is going to win this game, it's got to be a lower scoring affair anyways. I double dipped the spot. But Malcolm's allowed 3 goals on 27 shots in his last game. It was a 3-1 loss to Ottawa. But again, the key, lower scoring performances. Can't shoot, can't score. That's what it comes down to. That's how simple this game is. But I double dipped her. I got a little Utah action, the under 6. And our new fade. Team total under 3.5. Kelly V says Tarasov is terrible. What do we got? You guys got a whole bunch of stuff in the chat. There's Mel in the house. What's up, Mel? Nate's here. KP over 3s and over blocks. Wemby over 3.5. Over 3s, over blocks. Parlay. Okay. Pritchard, KP. You guys know the deal. Look at all you guys chatting it up. Let's go. Tech B likes the Raptors, Bucks, and Warrior Suns over. Leaning Warriors. Nasty Nate says Celtics smash Ramon. Mel says Bennington ducking the Avs. Maybe. Shout out to Station Play 211. What's up? Wiz in the house. What's up, Wiz? Yeah, Nicholas Haney says Annunen confirmed for Nashville. Still waiting on Buffalo. I'll tell you who I like in that game as well is Philippe Forsberg. At least from a shots on goal perspective. All right. Just checking in, catching up with you guys. You guys are rocking over there, man. Look at this thing. KV's got Logan Cooley out, Utah. So Keller What? 1.5 points? Over 1.5 points? Clayton Keller? I don't know if Utah's going to get on the board here. They do. I don't. We'll see. We'll see. Juggler 23. This is Dallas, 33-13-4 to the under in their last 50 games at home, under 5.5. Wow. Subs got that back-to-back spot for the lost by margin. All 7. 3-1 final. Still keeps the team total under, and the game stays under. Can't dismiss the fact that teams can get hot in the middle of the season, and other teams can start slumping, slouching. I would envision you got 3 of their last 4 games for Columbus. I don't care if Tarasov is in goal. Utah's not shooting the puck. They lost 5-2 at Winnipeg, 3-1 at Ottawa. They came back home. They lost 3-2 against Pittsburgh. 3 of their last 4 games have gone under the number. And Columbus has got themselves 3-1 in their last 4. Lots of road wins, by the way. Road warriors right now. They beat Toronto 5-1. They beat Carolina. I'm sorry, they lost to Carolina 7-4. That was their loss. They came home for that weird schedule stint. They beat LA 3-2. Then they rolled back out to Vegas, and they busted up Vegas. 2-1 final, but they had 5 days off in between, so they're a rested squad. I think there's an underestimation here for Columbus. The more I look at it, the more I might have to get involved in it. Yeah, I mean, I see Mel saying she wants to hammer Columbus at that big plus price, but scared of Tarasov. That'll be a fun one to check out. That'll be a fun one to dump some live bets on here and see if we can't make some money. Mel says I may wind up on Columbus before the night. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Juggler says, who told you the gambling guys would give the middle finger to Capitals within the next 2 games? 90% earlier in the week. I hammered on that Ottawa spot last night. I know we lost the Ottawa in the under, but still hammered on it. And then I went to overtime. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Let's go. Well, you guys are very active today in the chat. I love to see that, man. I feel like I got to just want to read what you guys have to say. That's it. How many days before JT Miller is in Avs? I don't know. I don't think the Avs are buying any longer. I think they made their move. Pretty much at that point now. They're not going to, well, maybe when the Four Nations Cup rolls around, they'll figure something out there as well. But okay, let's go. Brown pen. Ivy League extravaganza. What do we know about the Ivy League? Well, got a bunch of nerds. Not really. I knew some pretty cool dudes that went to some Ivy League hockey squads. But nonetheless, Brown opened up as 1.5 point road favorites. They are now 1.5 point road dogs. And guess what the public likes? They're road doggies. 68% of the bets, 79% of the cash on the Brown side of things, and the line has gone in the opposite direction. That's reverse line movement, boys and girls. 79% of the bets and 79% of the cash are on the under. It's gone from 143.5 to 144.5. Now we're seeing 145s. $1.45. I'm gonna have to Google that and listen to it. Look, it's coming off of back-to-back wins. They bludgeoned Columbia 93-78. They busted up Harvard 82-67. And we got ourselves a situation with a high-flying Penn squad out there beating them up. And then on the other side of things, Brown stinks. What can Brown do for you? And the answer is absolutely lose your fucking bankroll. 1-4 in their last 5 games. It was Cornell, 83-82 as an 8-point dog. They snuck the win on the road. Then they came home. They're 5.5 point home favorites, and they lose 84-83 to Dartmouth. A shit Dartmouth team that was getting, 15 points yesterday and still couldn't cover? That's what's going on with Brown. But I think the situation rocks here for Penn at home. Yeah, they're only 3-6 against the spread, but you know what happens at home? The ball finds the basket. 7-2 to the over in these Penn spots, and that's where I'm going to attack here. Ivy League schools. Look what we're seeing right now with this Yale Princeton spot. High scoring flyer. It's kind of stalled out a little bit, but 134 with 2.5 minutes to go. Yeah, not only that, but Penn's 10-0 to the over when they're in the favorite role of less than 14 points after a spread win. And they're not just going over, they're going over by almost 15 points a game. Brown and Penn, give me scoring. They're at home. They like it in the favorite spot as well. Everything points to this thing being a score fest. Hopefully Brown can keep up their end of the bargain. This total is, let me see, 144.5. It's a little steep, but we got a lot of favorable positions showing that Penn should let the barn get buzzing. Penn's got a cool little campus too. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty neat. Shout out to Keith, says hit the thumbs up for Mike. Appreciate you, Keith. J-Man says Penn on a rainy Friday night. They ready to go. It'll be a crowd and party tonight. Trust. I like Penn. I like the over more. I think Penn. Yeah, I like the money. I mean, the fact that it's shifted past the zero process there just has me looking at this total. Let's see this total get flying. We got some women's tennis action from Rick J. Oldie likes the Brown team total. See, now that instills confidence in me. If Oldie's going Brown team total over, they should push their end of the bargain. Ramon says only 2 of Dartmouth's last 56 conference night games have finished with more than tonight's 165.5, and yet it's high, right? Is that high for a reason? Yeah, the Princeton Yale game did go to shit in the second half. I see that. All right. JP says might be able to catch a smaller number if they start out slow. I don't disagree with that strategy, but if you got a team like Penn that's running pace and pushing overs, probably going to have to look for an under when they get around 155.5. We'll see how that game starts. Just 2 games for me in college hoops, though. Dayton and St. Louis in a revenge spot. This is a weird. This is one of those. Like I said, there's a bunch of weird games on the card. This one's super weird. -1.5's gone to 2.5s the other way. They've shot through zero. Dayton opened up as a road favorite. They've got 84% of the bets and 80% of the cash on Dayton. It's gone completely through zero the other way. 144.5's dropped to 143.5. And we have 84% of the bets and 84% of the cash on the under. So Ivy Leagues go over. A10s seem to go under to me. I know I've been making some money with Richmond Spiders going under because they stink. This is an interesting spot, though. I mentioned the revenge. First and foremost, St. Louis, there's that Richmond spot. 63-59 against Richmond on January 18th. They were laying 6.5. Richmond's bad. They couldn't cover against Richmond. Now, granted, it was on the road. They had LaSalle 64-52. G-Dub 67-61's a loss. They were 1-point favorites. They take the L. They bounced back with VCU. The Rams got busted up. 78-69. They were 5.5-point dogs. So, good competition. They're saying St. Louis doesn't stack up. Flip side of things here with Dayton. Dayton's coming off that loss to Bonnies. A bad Bonnies team. They just couldn't show up. 75-53. They were 2.5-point favorites. They went on the road. Bonnies, tough place to play. I've been there. Had several cocktails at those games. And yeah, it's a dumpy little gym. It's the same height as back home in Indiana. Anyways, the spot that I was looking at here was the revenge factor. This is a strange one. So Dayton finds themselves in a 7-0 spot, both against the spread and straight up. When it's between the threes, so +3 or -3, against a team they beat if that team's off a non-cover. So in the revenge spot, it's really a rematch spot because they already beat them. They put it between the threes, they dominate them. St. Louis in the revenge spot versus a team that came off a non-cover. If it's less than 6.5 and less than 151.5. So not expecting a blowout, not expecting a score fest. It's the A10. St. Louis 0-8 in those revenge spots. So Dayton in the rematch spot beats the team again, and St. Louis in the revenge spot loses to the team again. And you're going to give me 2.5 points? All right. Show it to me, St. Louis. Show it to me. I'll take the 2.5. It showed me that you don't care about rematches. They're 6-2 in the conference. That's a red flag. Why did they open up as a dog if they're 6-2 in the conference? I think clearly what we've seen is Dayton play the, I don't want to say the harder preseason schedule, but non-conference. It's the A10. 2.5 points. Should have a lot of these 2.5 pointers. We'll take them on our side. I think the wrong team's favored here. I think Dayton beats these guys outright, and I think they do it by a 10 spot. So we'll see exactly how this game shakes out, but show it to me, St. Louis. You don't care that you lost to this team already, and Dayton just empowered by the fact that they already beat a team before. It's as simple as we can get with that one. Nania says Dayton moneyline is the single play of the day at plus 114. There you go. There you go. JPZ live bet Princeton at plus 11.5. Kelly V says Dayton 8-2 straight up in the series. There you go. Juggler 23 says he was all over the team total over 2.5 last night in Ottawa. It was free money. I wish I'd gotten the free money alert. I was probably with an under. Boy. Let's see what you guys got. Nunian says Dayton and St. Louis. Purdue versus Indiana. Taking Purdue as well. That'll be a fun little Big Ten battle. Jay Main's talking about face paint. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see what we got here. Yale and Princeton. Fuckers. Closing the gap. Okay. See me sitting here cursing on camera? No, let's get to work. Let's keep her going. This one had my eyes light up. We talked about Charlotte the other day. Low totals go under. That's it. That's the end of the cap. High totals go over, low totals go under. I think if you play that strategy in itself without any other reason behind it, I think you're going to end up on top. We're not going to stop there, though. we got some more for you guys to consider with this thing here. Look, you guys know the deal. I like the Clippers, and I know we've been talking about them, but even last year, the Clippers to me have been a tempo team. This line opened up at 14.5. It's dropped to 13. 71% of the bets and 72% of the cash are on the Clip Show. This total's come down 6 points. 93% of the bets and 91% of the cash are on the over. It's come down 6 points from 214.5 to 208.5. What do you want? We can throw some lipstick on it. It's still going to be a pig, but we can throw some lipstick on it. Everyone's hurt for the Hornets. Williams, Martin, Ball, Mann, Mark Williams, the other Williams. That's a problem right there. That one. Because when we talked about him the other day, we said you might as well take a prop on him because someone's got to score. Now he's out. For the Clipper side of things, it's Batum with the illness. So I don't like those illnesses flying around the locker room. And that's certainly going to be enough to keep me off the side. Should James Harden go out there and show up? Probably. Of course. That's what he does. When the Hornets play at home, they're 5-18-1 to the under. When the Clippers go on the road, they're 7-14-1 to the under. When we look at this game overall, we got the Hornets are 13-1 to the under. Their last 14 home games where they're getting more than 4 points, and they had more than 15 assists the previous game. Basically, they're moving the ball around. They're dog. Going to go under. Not scoring, too much moving, not enough scoring. The games are going under by 13 points a spot. 19-5 at home, as I mentioned, on the season to the under. They're shooting 34% and holding opponents to 32% from three. So the ball ain't sinking from the perimeter, and they're not doing anything to score on their own home court. That's why they're going under such a dominant capacity. As we continue down the line, it's the margin that goes under. It's under by double digits in almost every single imaginable spot with this Hornets team. And we talked about the Clippers being a road under squad. There's no reason not to double dip this game. I took the under 100.5 for the first half, and the full game under 208.5 for a double dipper. I stopped short of the first quarter because I'm not a big first quarter betting guy. So I would have taken it if I had a little more courage around my numbers, but they are where they are. We are where we are. I'm going to double dip this under. I think this is a great spot to just hammer it and move on. Shout out to Alvin. Says that's what been working. High totals over, low totals under. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's that simple, isn't it? Shout out to Nunya. This is Peace Boys. Sports money is money. Appreciate you guys rocking. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't done so already. And sometimes it is that simple, Alvin. You know, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago and on a live stream. And obviously the dudes come to fruition for us. But these two teams definitely have a little under angle in their belts here. Let's go to this next game we got here. Dallas and Detroit. Man, I don't know if the NBA is just oversimplified tonight for me. This thing opened up as -1. It hasn't moved. 69% of the bets, but only 60% of the cash on the Mavericks. 230.5 dropped to 229 for a total, with 88% of the bets and 87% of the cash on the over. Dallas is a mash unit. Detroit Pistons got to be fired up to start playing. That's what I thought when I first looked at this game. You know, I know the Pistons not playing great in recent form, and they've got 3 straight losses. But here's the deal. Shitload of road games in there. Well, they have 6 straight road games. The Mavericks, on the other hand, as a mash unit, just beat the Pelicans 2 nights ago. 137-136. Fast-paced game. Found a way to get it done. That was with everybody out of that lineup as well. Now, how many times can they sustain that with this lineup being the way that it is the question that I have in this case. But, man, look. If they come off a game where they just let up everything, meaning if the opponent got 125 or more points the previous game, the Pistons come back and fire. They are 13-0 against the spread in those follow-up positions. 13-0. In other words, what that says to me is they know they got to play some damn defense. The Mavericks just came off that spot with 137, so they know the Mavericks are coming in fired up. And that goes back to the question, how long can they sustain their winning rate with everybody being out of the lineup? They barely snuck it by the Pelicans. And now you got Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, and accompaniment coming in, hosting you in your own barn. Or in their own barn. Luke is clearly the guy. I mean, the dude averages 28 points a game. He's almost a triple-double. 8 rebounds, 8 assists on average, and that's a big component to be taken out of this lineup. Let's not overcomplicate this one. Let's ride this 13-0 when they know they got to play defense, and they've got the benefit of their home court, and we got the benefit of Dallas having just covered that winning that last game. Maybe they're thinking to themselves, hey, we split this 2 road game spot. It's not so bad. I'm not saying they're not going to try, but I think Detroit has enough to muscle through this thing here with a little 13-0 streak in our corner. We will take it. We will run with it. Nicholas Haney says UPL is confirmed for the Sabres. I like the Nashville team total under. I like that Vancouver team total over. Straight fade. Straight fade. Okay. 2 games left here. We've got the Denver Nuggets and the Philadelphia 76ers. This is the game I told you has a weird buying habit going on right now, or a weird buying activity, I guess is the best way to describe it. Probably the best way to describe it. I'll share it with you. Line opened up at 8. It's moved to 9. It was as high as 9.5. It was as high as 10. It's coming back in. 48% of the bets and 50% of the cash on the Nuggets. Somehow the Sixers got themselves a little 3-game winning streak. Totals on the climb. 232.5's gone up to 233.5. And we got 88s. 88% of the bets and 88% of the cash on the over. You know, part of the Staples running. Braun's going again here. You know how much we like this guy. He's one of the 3. between this game and that Toronto game. All right, so I mentioned it's actually a 4-game win streak that the Sixers have themselves on right now. How could I forget? They did beat Cleveland. They handled Chicago in Chicago. Then they came back home for the Lakers, the Kings, and now they're on their 3rd straight game at home. The Nuggets, complete opposite situation. This will be their 4th straight road game. They've lost their last 3, including 129-121 beatdown by the Chicago Bulls. Embiid's out. I think Paul George will play tonight. I didn't see him on the lineup. I didn't see him on the injury report. I don't see it. But it doesn't matter. It's not where I'm looking to attack in this game. I'm looking at the total. I'm looking for points. The Nuggets are a perfect 15-0 to the over when they have rest and they've lost 3 or more straight games. Pretty straightforward. Nuggets are going to score. Sixers are scoring. If Paul George comes in, it's even better. Dogs off a win as a dog of at least 5.5 points, where they got 10 more points than their competitor in the 4th quarter, are 28-54 against the spread that following game. That says to fade Philly. So in other words, they pulled the upset, and it was because they finished the 4th quarter like gangbusters, or the other team just crumbled. And so you're selling high in a spot like that, 28-54. I still think that we see points, though. I like the scoring. I like the tempo of this game. We see that, Joker's going to play, and George should play, and Embiid obviously not playing, and McCann, we know the situation. But for the most part, everybody else is in. And it's no surprise with the Embiid situation. He's been out. He's out of this thing. We got a 15-0. Now, the spot that I was telling you guys that is a little unique here is the most single written ticket from one of the casinos tonight is Russell Westbrook over in his assists. It's not just over in his assists. His assist number is at 5.5. The single most written ticket coming out this afternoon was 10 plus assists for this dude. And it's priced at like plus 900. Does somebody know something? Why is that? He's averaging 5.8, I believe, on the season. His number's at 5.5, 5.5. Just saying, you may want to ladder that thing. You may want, 8 plus, maybe plus 275. 9 plus, maybe sitting at plus 485. 10 plus might be sitting at plus 900. Just giving you guys the information. Just letting you know what I got. Just letting you know what the info looks like. You decide. Nice. Jerry Davis is cash. Yale -2 and the over. Nice. I'll take it. Take a little +2. What was that? Like a plus 285 parlay. Take it. Stop Geo says KB. Joker triple-double best price is minus 110 because he's a walking triple-double. That guy automatically gets triple-doubles. Like it's going out of style. Gets them all. That's all them triple-doubles. Plus 246. Plus 246. Nice. Okay. Spenny's in the house. He says, Oubre, double-double. Plus 500. All right, last game on the board. The Nasty Nate special. Oops. Let me do this real quick. The old Nasty Nate special. Boston Celtics, New Orleans Pelicans. You already know what to do. Were we close to the... I don't know if we were close to the onset of this particular trend. We're somewhere in the middle, I think, of this trend. The Celtics and the Pelicans opened up at 10.5. They've moved to 12s. They've moved as high as 13s in some books. 56% of the bets, but only 53% of the cash on the Celtics. Totals dropped half a point. 88% of the bets, 88% of the cash at 231.5 has dropped to 231. Still some 231s and a halfs out there. So essentially there's no movement on the total with all that money pressing on the over. I mean, look, let me just share this with you. The Celtics last game, they were 14.5-point favorites. They won by 22, 122 to 100. After they cover a double-digit spread, what do? They don't cover. Furthermore, when they played some damn defense, meaning they held their opponent to 90 or 100 points in that 90 to 100-point window, they're 0-15-2 against the spread. So we're not just fading them because they just covered a double-digit spot. It's the inability for their defense to come through in a back-to-back situation with a big number. They're 1-13 off of 15 or more point win against the spread this season. The Celtics are 2-15 in their last 17 when they score over 120 points. So you're selling high on the Celtics. 2-14 in those games as the favorite. 2-12 when they covered their last game by 5 or more points. 2-18 in their last 20 off a 10 or more point straight up victory. They haven't covered the spread 5 straight times in that spot. They haven't covered it 7 of the last 9. You can go on and on and on. Oh, and then how about this one too? Because we talk about teams that are built to play within divisions and conferences. They're 1-6 against the spread when they're playing in Western Conference opponents. We'll close her out. I got 11. If you can get 12, it's even better. Maybe look to live bet it. Maybe you catch a 20. Maybe catch a back door on this thing. Jared Bush and Zion over 21.5 points. Jared Bush, thanks for joining us. Zion's out, brother. The only thing he's doing is grabbing himself an ice pack and some Advil in that situation. So, but it's good to see you. Spenny says, I want to think the Pels give a good. I think so. And they just came off that loss by a point. 1 point loss. Rick J says Lonzo over 2.5 threes plus 104. His minutes are being increased starting today. All right. That's what I want to see. I'm trying to build out the starting 5. I need situations like that where the minutes are getting increased. Let's keep our eyes on it. Let's put him on the radar. Lonzo Ball. You know the starting 3. Scotty Barnes. Of course, we got Vucevic and Braun. And they're all in play today. J-Main says you can't play no props until 10 minutes before the game. I'll tell you what, though, J-Main. Yes and no. So I took the under 11.5 in Vucevic's rebounds tonight. It dropped to 10.5. So now you just lost a whole, you lost a whole rebound. If they don't play, they refund you. So no harm, no foul type situation. kind of what I was looking at from that thing. But, trying to catch the best number early. Worst case scenario, yeah, you got some money tied up on some players that aren't going to play, and then you get the refund. You're fucked if they touch the court for a minute. I don't really think that happens as much. I think it kind of goes the other way. They'll pull them out when they're like 1 or 2 points short of their numbers. But yeah, Spenny says you got to watch NBA Underdog all night, refreshing until they say who's in and out. I just set the notification on. Just, my phone's a fucking nightmare of notifications anyway. So there you go. How we do? 7:04. It's Friday night. And we got a big Saturday coming up here, guys. We got a big UFC stream. It pops off at 9:15 a.m. So we'll probably be rolling around 8:45, 9-ish. Ramon Scott's been running so hot. He's going to pop off even earlier tomorrow morning to give you guys the steam report. The morning steam. So make sure you check him out. I think it's 7 a.m. That means he's getting up and rocking at 4 a.m. Vegas time to continue with the morning steam. So that we can go out there and live bet and sweat all over this UFC card at 9:15 a.m. Appreciate everybody hanging out here. If you guys haven't done so, please hit that thumbs up button for us. It does help us a ton. It helps us continue to grow and stay relevant in the YouTube universe out there. And then we got more to come. So appreciate all you guys hanging out, doing this thing with us. Ramon Scott's dropping some women's college basketball. Likes a little Arizona, Utah under 133. Tarek B says, I'll be there. You guys better be there, man. We make that money in this UFC. Let's go. Let's see if I can string together 2 first strike fights in a row. I got a nice big juicy plus 150 spot out there. So while we're mentioning it, make sure you check it out. VB MMA, Ramon Scott did the breakdown on Tuesday with 3 best bets for this UFC card. Then the fellas from First Strike got together on Wednesday. We put out a 4-pack of them. So there's 7 plus a whole bunch of props to consider and angles to play those fights. That's more than half the card. Go check them out. Smash that thumbs up button and then go back and see Ramon Scott tomorrow morning. Ramon Scott is running so hot. Good luck to everybody with your bets tonight. Let's get a little funk in the step here with the Jay Peasy outro as you guys get ready for a big weekend. And we'll see you guys real soon. Thanks for watching. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. We don't stop. Rain, sleet, or snow. Pregaming is good to go.
Snow, Curtis Blow, flow, fuck all you haters. Fuck making bitch using best simulators. Fuck cashing in, all we wanna do is win. Put the juice in the gin, now it's time to begin. Fuck the books, they can take it on the chin. Surrendering dividends, don't fuck with my game. The show starts with capping and ends with them slapping and stacking cash and boatloads. They won't know what happened. Pre-gaming and others, they seem lame. Like Abel, meeting pain, a bullet to the brain. We don't give a fuck like Kiki said. We ain't playing. We ain't game, but we ain't playing.
I'm back and I'm joined with my guy. Oh, we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight.